Hello and welcome back to Rob's PC Workshop. Today we're going to be planning and building an enterprise network using Packet Tracer. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to connect our routers, and as you can see I've already done that. I connected, using the first fast Ethernet interface on ISI router to connect the last fast Ethernet interface on floor 1 switch, and I used copper straight through, because they're not like devices. And then here on Connect Gigabyte Ethernet 1.1 on floor 1 switch to Gigabyte Ethernet 1.1 on floor switch 2. And then this I used crossover because they're like devices, so you've got to use a crossover. So the next step in the process, we're going to configure the basic switch and router configurations. And I went and set up Notepad here to configure these so that I don't have to do them each individually. So we're going to pop this into the router, and I've already set the host name, but not the rest of the configurations. Okay, so what we did, enabled in our global configuration mode, configure terminal mode, host name of the router, enable the password. When our line VTY04 password class login, when line console 0 password class login ended, which cuts us all the way back down to our root, and then WR, which is a save. So we saved all that. So now our router is configured, and enable password Cisco. Line VTY password class, line console 0 password class. So that's how that works. And then we're going to go ahead and edit it a little bit for our floor switch. So it says floor switch 1. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's make it easy. And then close our router down. Go to floor switch 1. Boom. We'll do it for 2. And 3. Well, I messed up on host name on them. Let's go ahead and get that right. There we go. Alright, now let's fix them. Alright, so now it's floor 2, floor 1, floor 3 switch. Okay, now they're set right. So now we want to set the interfaces connecting floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3 switches as a trunk port. Alright, so now we need to configure the interfaces connecting the routers and switches. So set the interfaces as trunk ports. So we'll go to floor switch 1. And remember gig 1 gigabyte internet 1 to 1 and then 1 2 to 1. So we want to do gigabyte internet 1 switch port mode trunk here. And then we'll go here. Okay. And again, we'll want to do 1 1 on this one. And now we'll want to do 1 2 on our middle port. Okay. So now we're going to set the interface on floor 1 switch connecting this ISR router on floor 1 switch. And we used fast Ethernet 0.1 to 0.24, I believe. FA00. Okay, so we're going to go for ISI router. And instead of doing that port, we're going to do FA. Zero zero. Apparently switchboard mode trunk doesn't work there. Let's see. Trunk port. So let's go back into oh. It says set the interface on the floor 1 switch, so maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Let's go ahead and do that, like it says to do. That worked. Boom. Alright. So enable the interface on the ISI router connecting to the floor 1 switch. So it must be shut. Yep. Fast Ethernet 00 is down, so no shut. Okay. But make sure that's open. Fast Ethernet 00 is up. Okay, passing 0, 0. 24 is up. So we should have good connectivity. Now we're going to create and configure 3 sub-interfaces on the ISI router's fast Ethernet 00 interface using the following table. Set the encapsulation for each sub-interface, set the IP addresses for each sub-interface. Alright, so now as I said we want to create and configure 3 sub-interfaces on the ISI router's fast Ethernet 00 interface. So here I've typed the code. Conf T, we're going to interface FA00, and then we're going to make a sub-interface, FA00.20. Make sure the encapsulation is .1Q, and it's 20. The IP address 192.168.20.1.255.0, and then this is, as you can see, now we're going to sub-interface 0.25. Make sure encapsulation .1Q, give it its IP address, and then .30, do the same. So we're going to go I had an issue with the IP addresses. It was taking the IP addresses. So I'm going to go back through. And make sure that it's issuing the correct IP address. Now I know that all my IP addresses are correct. So I'm going to move on. Utilize the following table to configure floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3 switches. We're going to be setting up a VTP domain and a VTP password. Go ahead and set up another notepad for it, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are again. We are going to configure VTP domain. So we're going to configure floor 2 and floor 3 switches as clients and floor 1 as our server. So I'm going to go to floor 1 first and configure it as our server. What did we set the password to? Let's look back here. Cisco 123, I thought. Let's put class. There we go. Alright, so now we're on floor switch 1. We're going to set up its VTP domain, password, and mode. Well, I guess I did that wrong. Interesting. There we go. Oh, didn't like server though. Alright. So now we're going to set 2 and 3 as a client versus server. And I spelled it right this time, so. Well, I didn't put a new one on my. Ah. Alright. Now it's set to client. So let's do the same with floor switch 3. Boom, VTB client. Alright. Now that's set up. So what our next step is. Utilizing the following table to configure the VLANs from the VTP server. Look at the first floor switch so that fast Ethernet 01 is VLAN 20. Alright, I'm going to set up a new notepad. Alright, so I've set up my first part of this where I'm going to go ahead and set the VLANs to floor switch 1. Alright, so we have all our VLANs set. Now I'm going to set up another one for configuring the floor switch for our fast Ethernet. I'll be right back. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and configure the floor 1 switch for the fast Ethernet is on VLAN 20, and configure floor 2 so it's on VLAN 25, and VLAN 30 will be on floor switch 3. So we're going to go to 1 first, and I've set up a little code here, conft int FA01 switch port access VLAN 20, and then save our configuration. So that's floor switch 1. So floor switch 2 we'll want to make 25. Alright, and floor switch 3 is going to be our 30. Alright. That should be all good. Now we're going to connect PC0 to floor switch 1 on fast Ethernet 01. So we're going to want our connections. Copper straight through. We're going to connect PC0 to floor switch to the floor 1 switch on fast Ethernet 01. Connect PC1 to 01 and PC2 to 01. Okay. So now we're going to use the command prompt to ping PC1 and PC2 from PC0. PC1, PC2. So we want to ping PC1 and PC2 from PC0. So PC1 and PC2 from PC0. PC1, let's start here. We're pinging its IP address. And we have connectivity. Sweet. So now we want to ping 192.168.30.101. And it looks like we have connectivity there. Next step, use PC0, being PC0 and PC2 from PC1. So, ping, we'll start with PC2. And we have connectivity. So now we're going to ping and now on our final one we'll ping the other two. Ping this one. $20.10. We have connectivity. Sweet. We're going to do 25. Alright. So it appears we have connectivity and 100% completion. Hope that's been helpful. Have a nice day.